We want you to guess at who this amazing leader is. We have football music on here, right? All right, he was born right here in Ortt, Tonawanda in 1979. He attended St. Joseph Collegiate Institute in Buffalo. He graduated from his college degree in international relations and political science. He married his wonderful wife, Megan, best thing he ever did. Our guy, right? In October 2001, he enlisted in the New York Army National Guard, and he actually was appointed city treasurer of Ortt, Tonawanda. But then in 2008, he felt called to serve our country, and he went to the war in Afghanistan, and he was a combat mentor to the Afghan police there. He earned a Bronze Star Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and many others. So he obviously did some brave things there, right guys? He was elected to a 4-year term as the first combined treasurer of Ortt, Tonawanda. In 2010, he was the mayor of this amazing town. In 2014, he was elected to the New York State Senate to represent us in Albany, and then he was re-elected in 2018, and then he became the minority leader of the Republican Party for the New York State Senate. And today, he's our character GPS hero. A warm welcome for our senator, Ortt.
Woo! Smith.
I have not had an introduction like that. I certainly have never had an introduction to the Monday Night Football theme song.
There you go.
Which is the coolest. That actually happened on all my introductions.
There you go.
I want to thank Jeff and Kathy and the family and everybody here at Mass Music. But I really want to thank all of you guys for being here. And I know you guys were out enjoying the great weather in the break. And I'm sorry that I had to suck you back in here to hear me speak. But I'm a hometown guy. In fact, when I played saxophone, I got it right here from Mass Music.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I did.
Oh my.
That did not work out for me in the music part because I'm here talking to you as a state senator and not as a musician. But it's always great to be here in Ortt, Tonawanda. I still live here, even though my job takes me to Albany and it takes me all over New York State. It is good to be here with all of you today, talking about, I think, something that doesn't get talked about enough, and that's character. And the reason I say that is because you guys spend a lot of time in school focusing on math, on English, on science, on technology, all topics that are very, very important, no doubt. And then when you're not doing that, you're doing homework. And then when you're not doing that, you're probably doing chores at your house. And then when you're not doing that, you're probably on social media, you're talking to your friends, right? And that's okay. But every single day, even now, but certainly as you get older, you will find that character not only is so important, and I say it's so important because you all know friends maybe even today, but you will certainly, as you grow up, you will know people who were smart, who were talented, but something happened. They ended up in a bad spot. And the reason many times they end up in a bad spot as you get older is because they made bad decisions. And a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times it's the result, they lost their moral and character compass. That GPS that we're talking about, it gets you around town, right? Your GPS on your phone or your car. What is a GPS? It leads you to where you want to go. You put that in there, and no matter how many wrong turns you take, it's going to get you, it's going to keep recalculating to get you to where you're supposed to be going. And it's probably a good analogy because sometimes it seems easy the right thing to do, right? It seems easy to know what the right thing is. I will promise you, as you get older, you will be put in situations where sometimes it's less easy to know what it is. But even then, it's sometimes even harder to still do it because you're going to get pulled in different directions. You're going to get pulled. People are going to tell you, don't worry about it. They're going to say, yeah, that's probably the right thing. Don't worry about it. No one does it that way. The shortcut, you're going to get presented with a lot of shortcuts in life. And that shortcut's going to seem easier. No one's looking. So when I was in the Army, They focus a lot on character. Why? Why would the Army focus a lot on character? Who thinks? Yeah. So she said, because you want to know who you are as a person and what you do work on. That's true. But why would the U.S. Army, why would they want people of strong character?
Because you have to use a lot of teamwork. Because you usually go in groups and whatever you're doing, so you're gonna go everywhere, and it's good to know each other's character, and it's good to know who you're working with.
So that's a heck of an answer.
I know, that was really
That's
good.
a very good answer. Both of them
Really
are
awesome.
right. And you're right when you talk about the U.S. Army. They're trying to build people of high character because all the things you said are correct. You're working in a team. You as fellow soldiers want to know that you're dealing with people of high character, but it's also because at some point you will be in a situation where that character will help get you through it and succeed and maybe save lives, or that character will result in something much worse. If you don't have the high character in the U.S. Army, people can die. And that's what I want you to understand is that right now, the result of your character decisions are important, but the stakes are a little less most of the time, thankfully, because you're young people, you're still growing. But as you get older, and it may happen before some of you even know. I know a lot of people think that I have time, I get a ton of mulligan because I'm a kid. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes something can happen and your life, you could grow up overnight and your life could be forever changed and you don't get the same mulligan. Perfect example. How old is everybody here today? Who's our oldest person in the room? Not including me.
Nash.
Oh,
Nash.
I'm 17.
So you're 17. Great age. That's a great age. It's a great age. I'm not 17, but boy, that was a great age. But 17 is a great age because you know why? Because Nash, he's going to be at a party later. He's going to know a friend this summer, and certainly the summers to come, and they might make a simple decision. At 18 years old, they might think, I got a few drinks, but I'm going to drive. And if that goes wrong, as it almost surely will, that you don't get to say, but I'm 18, but I'm a kid. Guess what? You hit somebody, you kill somebody, it doesn't matter that you're 18. You're going to suffer very real consequences, and your life is forever changed. Forever. It's not like you missed a homework assignment. It's not like you got a bad grade and you can recover. Your life is forever changed. And so that's why when we talk about character, it's great to be the best in science. It's great to be the best in math. It's great to be great at sports. How many athletes out there do you guys are worldly, you follow in the news? You know how many every day there's a famous athlete. They make millions of dollars. We would say they're successful. They're at the peak of their career. And yet, they make a bad or a series of bad choices. Why? Because being great at putting the ball in the net, or putting a puck in the net, or making a touchdown pass, that's great. But if you don't have the character to back that up, at some point, that will come out. At some point, you will fall off that because you have to have the character too. Great example of that. He was a football player for the Las Vegas Raiders. He was a wide receiver this last year. He's 23, very successful, super fast. His name was Henry Ruggs III. He went out, made a series of bad decisions with no regard for other people. And that's another, I think, a piece of character that always shines through. Do you make your decisions with regard to the impact it will have on the lives of other people around you? It's not enough to say how this impacts me. Now, you're all young, so that's okay if sometimes you only think that way. But it's good to think outside of yourself. It's good to think about, how will this impact my friends? How will this impact my family? How will this impact those I care about? How will it impact people I don't know? That's important too. Because sometimes, maybe you don't know that person, but does that mean that they don't have value, that their life doesn't matter, that how it impacts them doesn't matter? Of course not. See, that's where we all know that that's the right answer, but we don't always do the right thing. We don't always think about that. We know it's right, but we don't always, our actions don't always back that up. And that's true for everybody. You know, to me, character is a constant evolution. You don't ever really get there. It's a constant battle. It's a constant thing. It's like I'll use sports as an analogy. You know, you have a great season, and guess what? It doesn't matter anything when you start the next season. You're always looking to get better and improve and to learn. Even me. I'm up here speaking to you, but don't think by any stretch of the imagination that my character journey, I've reached some sort of pinnacle. That mountain, you just keep going. And you sort of got to enjoy that. You got to enjoy the idea that you get better, even when you fall or you make a mistake. But then Henry Ruggs made a series of bad decisions, got behind the wheel of a car when he shouldn't have been, and he killed a woman. Now his football, she's gone. Think about her family. Think about her friends, her parents. She was 34 years old. His life, he ain't playing football anymore. He's going to go to jail. So 2 lives, and a lot of others, but 2 lives were ruined, taken away, because of some bad decisions, because somebody forgot their moral character, forgot their character. They stopped thinking about other people. They stopped thinking about what was right. And I'll tell you another thing. You know, for me, is people will look at me as they'll say, I'm an elected leader, right? I'm a leader in the community. Now, for me, everything I learned about leadership, I learned when I was younger. I learned playing hockey. I learned from my parents. I learned in the Army. Now, I still learn. Don't get me wrong, I still learn. But if you don't think that you're learning key things right now, it's all going to hit you at certain levels. You're going to remember these things when you're older sometimes. But leadership, you cannot be a leader if you do not have character. And by the way, your fellow students, people in this room, you'll always be able to sniff somebody out if they have character or not. You know the leaders. You know the people that you want leading you, whether it's student council, whether it's a sports captain, whatever it might be. You'll know, because you'll know this person's got good character. They are a leader. They don't need the title. They are a leader. There's people who are leadership by title, and there's people who are leaders by actions. Which do you want to be? You can be a leader by action every day. It doesn't matter if you have a title. But that comes with character. Good leaders have good character. And I can promise you, bad leaders have bad character. And I'll tell you another quick thing. You can learn from even bad leaders. So some of you will be in situations where you will have a bad leader. Could be a bad teacher, could be a bad sports captain, could be a bad whatever it might be. That's okay. It's okay. You can learn from them as well. You can learn what not to do. So don't ever miss an opportunity to take something away, even from examples of people doing things they shouldn't do. That should be a lesson to you. I know there's been several examples I've seen over my life where I thought to myself, you know what? But for the grace of God, that could have been me. That I made a bad decision, only it just didn't. Thanks to the grace of God, I ended up back home that night. Or I ended up nothing bad came of it. But it could have. It could have. I was lucky. And you don't want to live your life just relying on luck. Trust me. You want to be lucky once in a while, but you don't want to have to live your life. You want to be able to put your head on the pillow and know that you're making good decisions for the right reasons, and that's so important. And I just think that if you can ground yourself in good decisions, and don't be afraid. You know what? I know at your age, you all want to be in. By the way, adults are not much different. We all want to be accepted. Nobody really wants to be by themselves. In the Army, they used to tell you if you're all alone, you're probably wrong. And sometimes that can be true in life. But if you you have good character and you want to be a leader, sometimes you will be alone. Meaning, when everyone else is kind of picking at somebody and having a good time at it, it's usually just a couple of people. But the rest of everybody else is kind of just ignoring it because they don't really want to get involved. I don't want to stand up for that guy because other people might think something about me, right? Here's what they're going to think about you. They're going to think, that's a leader. That's what they're going to think. No matter what else they think, they will know deep down that Amelia, she's got good character because she stood up for Madison when someone else was saying something to Madison. That's the takeaway. And I will tell you something, I'm 43 years old now, much, much older than all of you. I still remember things when I was your age. I remember things like that. When somebody stood up for somebody or somebody did something, maybe I didn't say it at that age, but I knew it. I knew that was the right thing to do. And so don't think that you can't make a difference right now, even at a young age. And you can't, I know it's easy to sit there and say, I'll show character tomorrow. I'll show it tomorrow. I'll start being a character-driven person next week when I go back to school. Do it now. Do it right now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today. That's a good thing to think about. You know, the best thing would have been to be a good person yesterday. But if you weren't, the next best time is right now. Right now. And all you have that within you, and you're here. You're not here by accident. You're exactly where you should be right now. You're here hearing this for a reason. Because there's big plans for all of you. And so, what we need people of character. Trust me. I go to Albany every day. I travel the state. I see a lot of successful people, and some of them have really high character. A lot of them, I think, do. But some of them don't. And so if you think the world doesn't need good people of good character, you're not watching the news. You're not paying attention. I'm telling you right now, the world is in need of people of good moral character more than ever before, I think, certainly in my lifetime. And that's where you come in. You're the next wave of superheroes we need to come. And that's where you come in. You're the next wave of superheroes we need to come and save our state, our community,